On my left is quite a fella that Ted Lyons, a great Chicago White Sox pitcher. He had one of the best knuckleballs in the game of baseball. Joe, could you adjust to his knuckleball?
I couldn't adjust to his knuckleball. No, after all, you want to look his record up. He's got something like 300 and some odd wins, I believe, through a lifetime. I don't know exactly, Teddy, but you certainly gave me a fit, and I'm glad that you're on my team today.
Thank you, Joe DiMaggio.
Well, Joe, I can return the compliment. You gave me a fit, too.
He was quite a ball player, wasn't he, Ted? How did you pitch him?
Well, I'll tell you, Joe was a guy, Lou, that you couldn't pitch. I don't think you could pitch him any certain way, but I used to try to throw him some breaking stuff and slow up on him. And if I ever threw him a fastball, it'd be in on his fist, so he couldn't murder you, you know. I like to see him hit the ball left field. I
remember batting against Ted. Ted would be put quite an act on the pitching mound. We would try to see if he would give away his pitches. And when Ted would find that out, he'd give me that knuckleball grip. And when I was set for a knuckleball, the son of a gun would fire that fastball by me for the called third strike.
Well, you know, Lou, that was the only effective manner. A guy that don't have a good fastball, that's the only effective thing he's got, is to bluff something. You got to bluff your way through a little bit. So if you give him the knuckleball sign and throw a fastball close, pretty close, don't throw at him to hit him, but throw the ball up in there around their chest or neck, and you will make them respect that sign from then on.
Ted, we're talking to Ted Lyons, Chicago White Sox pitcher. I want to tell a little story on Ted, and if he can verify it. When I was playing with the Cleveland Indians and playing against the White Sox, and they had Luke Appling, of course, with Ted Lyons. Ted and the Chicago White Sox at that time, under the management of Jimmy Dykes, were great ribbers. And ribbing, I'm not going to say what I think they were, but ribbing is what I'll call them right now. So Ted would holler out to me as I was playing shortstop against Lyons, and he said, "Boudreaux, you're playing them all wrong. Move over a step." I was playing Appling wrong. And he said, "Boudreaux, move over a step," and I would move over one step, and he said, "No, come on over, two more." I moved over two more, and so help me, Appling hit a line drive right to me.
That's right, Lou. That was my most embarrassing moment.
Appling didn't know that, I don't believe, to right now. Yeah, I know how Luke likes his base hits. Here's Luke Appling, great popular ball player, especially with the White Sox and all over the league. Luke, very happy to see you.
Lou, I'm glad to be here. Since you had all the good ball players on to get a rinky-dink in between you, that's fine.
Well, Luke, how does it feel to come back and meet these fellas once or twice a year?
Well, Lou, as you know, it's wonderful. I've been very fortunate in the last 2 or 3 years making quite a few of these old-timer game, and to get with them and hear all the stories, you know, it's quite a thing, and I really enjoy it thoroughly.
Well, Luke, I'll tell you, Luke Appling's name will never be forgotten in Chicago. And tell me, Luke, did they ever send you a bill for hitting all those foul balls?
Not necessarily. I'm having to pay for it now. As you know, I'm coaching with Kansas City, and I coach with Baltimore and Cleveland. Everywhere I went, they handed me the keys. You're the keeper of the ball, so I'm having to pay for it right now.
Luke, you were a great hitter and one of the best in hitting to right field. Did you have any particular method of holding your hands or striding to hit the ball behind the runner?
Well, not necessarily, Lou. I just didn't. I kept my right hand, my right wrist underneath and kept it straight, and just carry my hands in front of the bat. And you couldn't hit any other way that way, as you know. You keep your bat down. As long as you didn't break that right hand and come over, you couldn't pull the ball, as you know. You did a pretty good job of hitting the right field. Don't tell me anything about that job.
Well, I was watching you quite a bit, Luke. Thank you very much.
Lou, it's a pleasure to be here.
Luke Appling of the Chicago White Sox. And here's a fellow that changed a few rules in the rule book. Tommy Hendrick, the right fielder for the New York Yankee, a great Yankee, one who broke up many ball games with a long ball. And if and when you needed a long ball, this fellow knew how to get it, and it always came off your bat. I remember several against us.
You keep talking, Lou. I like to hear you talk. Hey, that's very nice words. Thanks very much.
Well, it's the truth. Tommy, a great right fielder. And the rule that I was mentioning before introducing Tommy was this one. With a man on first or a man on first and second, and the short fly ball was hit to right field, Tom would call the infielder off of the ball. He would not catch it. He would trap it. And now with his momentum of coming in and trapping the ball, of course, he would throw to second or first base, and you had a double play. This was a great play.
Depending on the man on second base. First of all, you got to cooperate with the infielder left there.
Yes.
It was in my field. Naturally, the shortstop would cover, and you had to have a dummy, Lou, on second base.
Well, now, wait a minute. I was there once.
No, I'm talking about the runner. You did. You were not. I never pulled it on you.
No, I was always afraid you would.
If you trapped that ball, you'd have taken off for third, and we wouldn't have gotten any place.
Well, I was always fearful that you would use it against our ball club. Of course, that's why I told our men that with runners on first and second, don't you hit it to Henry.
Well, that's the whole thing. It's a surprise thing, and today it would work. I'm sure it would work the first, second time until the opposition got wise. Look out, he's liable to pull that.
Tommy,
that's what those trick plays are for.
Oh, this was thinking. This was baseball. Listen, you had many thrills, World Series play, another. Can you think of one right now that stands out in your mind?
Oh, heck, Lou. Just getting to the big leagues was my big thrill, and being in a big league uniform will take it as far as I'm concerned. I was very fortunate to have become a free agent, you know, and to get with the Yankees, a team that I'd always rooted for. And then to get in the World Series and be lucky enough to win them, and that's pretty fair, I'll tell you that. And baseball's been very good to me.
There's a champion, and Tommy Henry making a statement like that. Thank you very much, Tommy.
All right, Lou.
Here's a fella. He's perhaps the youngest oldster here, and if he's going to show me up, Vince, by jogging out to his position, I'm going to trip him.
I'm going to tell you something. He's been staying in shape.
Oh, thanks a lot.
What kind of shape?
I had the pleasure of managing this fellow also, and let me tell you, he's a manager's ball player. Enos Slaughter, great St. Louis Cardinal ball player and Kansas City ball player. Let me add, Enos, and you look in great shape, let me say.
Lou, I'm in very good shape, I guess, but I would say I'm about 10, 12 pound overweight as far as playing.
Aren't we all? Vince is a little over more than that.
That's right, but you know, I know I'm not playing anymore. I'm trying to keep my weight down to a certain extent, but I'm enjoying life now.
Good.
Tells me, what are you, down on the farm? Is that it?
Vince, that's right. I'm back in North Carolina on the farm. I got a 250-acre farm down there, and my wife, she's doing a little work too. I put her up a beauty shop out on the farm, and she's doing real well. I play golf at the Roxburgh Country Club on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and do a little farming on the side. So, 2 girls going to school, so I'll say I'm really enjoying life now.
How old are those girls?
They're 7 and 9.
Guthrie, you spent how many years in the majors altogether?
Counting the 3 hours in the service, I was up 22 years.
You wound up with a batting average of what, remember?
300 on the head of 301.
What do you think you could hit against this kind of pitching today? Even at your age.
Well, I'll tell you, I think if I looked at him a while, I believe I'd get a few base hits. Of course, I don't know what's wrong with this game today. I know when I was coming up, a lot of these young boys, you know, if it didn't hit 300, they went back to their minor leagues. And if you look now down his batting averages, you don't see many 300 hitters. And
right.
I'm not taking anything away from the pitchers today, but I don't think the pitchers is much rougher today than they were 20 years ago.
Is this, you think, because they're all going for that long ball?
I couldn't answer that, Vince, because you see more games than I do. I don't get to see too many major league games today, and I couldn't fairly give you a good opinion of it.
Gotta remember one thing about you among so many others, seeing in the Cardinal uniform, the Yankee uniform, and briefly there with Kansas City. So many great exploits. Your World Series run, for example, against Boston. That was one of the great exploits in baseball, and it was so typical of Country Slaughter, aggressive ball player and a gambling ball player too. But you gambled, but you knew what the odds were before you took the gamble.
That's right, Vince. On that play, the score was tied. It's the bottom of the 8th inning in the final game, and I had the steal sign, and I got a good jump on the ball. There was 2 men out, and I saw the ball going into left center as I rounded second. I said to myself, I can score. You know, early in that ball game, Eddie Dyer told me if I had a chance to take advantage of it, because Mike Gonzalez had stopped me on a relay throw earlier, which they juggled the ball, and I think I could have scored. So on that play, I just gambled and went all the way, and it's fortunate, you know, they made Johnny Pesky the GOAT. But to me, he was not the GOAT, because anytime an infielder goes out after a relay throw, he has his back to the infield. I blame the other infields for not letting him know where I was at.
What about all the thrills that you had? Which one comes back to you most frequently, or when you do think about it?
Well, Vince, that's hard to say, because I had so many thrills in this game, and I enjoyed coming out every day. You know, I stayed in pretty good physical condition,
yes, you did.
And I could give them 100% every day, and it was just a thrill to come out to the ballpark every day.
I believe it. Guthrie, it was a real thrill for us to have you here tonight, and all the rest of you wonderful fellows, and I know it's got to be great for you to get together with.
Thank you, Vince, and I think this is the greatest thing happened to ball players. You know, these old-timers game, boys you haven't seen. There's a lot of them here I haven't seen for 10, 15 years,
Sure.
and it's really nice to see them.
And to see all these fans around here after these autographs is something, too. Really something. Even the old man.
What old man? I'm through. I threw 2 balls. I warmed up. I'm done.
And he getting his pension?
Very shortly. Lou, we run out of time on it. We're going to have to get to work and get back into this ball game. We'll be back here in just 60 seconds.